What's up, guys? I am the Lion of Truth. So we got to talk about Bend Studio. Man, this is the company that made Days Gone. You know, it's a PlayStation 4 exclusive. Got ported over to PS5, and for the past 6 years, the game came out in 2019. For the past 6 years, everybody's wanted a sequel, right? Days Gone 2. I mean, don't believe me, go look at any of their social media. I mean, any of their social media pages, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, it doesn't matter. They would post anything, like literally anything, and the comments would be, Days Gone 2, oh my god. The comments would be, give us Days Gone 2. That's all we want. And then I don't know what year it was. It got confirmed. Oh god. It got confirmed. They're working on a new IP. Ben's working on a new IP. Intellectual property. So, literally by the nature of that, it can't be Days Gone 2. Because that's a new, new IP. But they never said it. All they said is we're working on a new game, and it got said somewhere that it's a new IP. So I took it, I would ask them on Instagram a lot. What's going on? Like, are you guys doing Days Gone 2? Like, just confirm it. Like, oh, I don't know what this is. I'll figure this out. I was like, take a stance, and stand behind what's happening and tell us. If it's not Days Gone 2, just, like, say it out loud. And the community... Okay, I'm gonna die. The community manager himself... Did I not? The community manager himself responded to me on Instagram, and he said, we are working on a new game that is, not Days Gone 2. Like, in so many words. He 100% confirmed that they weren't doing it. And this was back in, I think, 2023, like 2 years ago. Yeah, I want to say it was about almost 2 years ago. So very upsetting there. So, fast forward some time, right? To, I think, the end of 2024 or something. Come to find out, here's where it gets really good, you guys. They were working on a live service game. And for those of you that don't know, live service, essentially, you can just equate that to trash, okay? They were working on a trash game. For 6 years. A new IP, live service, which basically means, like, they release the game, and then they're gonna give us lots of updates where you have to pay for stuff. Microtransactions are gonna be everywhere in the game. It might be free to play. Things like that. Just absolute garbage. Totally the opposite of what players would want, from like a Days Gone game. So, it gets... Not only was it, a live service game they were working on, it got canceled. Sony canceled it. It's like, okay. Alright. And then we find out the iceberg of this, you guys, it goes so freaking deep, man. It goes so deep. Because it doesn't just stop with Bend Studios at Sony. PlayStation... Apparently, this is all like leaked documents, right? And stuff like that and rumors. But apparently, they were working on... PlayStation was working on 12 live service games. A God of War 1. You can look all this up. Like I said, don't trust it. You don't have to trust anything I say. Look it up yourself. God of War, a Spider-Man 1. Like, just the most ridiculous things you can think about. They were trying to make these multiplayer games... free to play with a lot of microtransactions and loot boxes. Just the worst kind of business practices you can think of. You know what I mean? That's what these guys were doing. So, it's like, okay. What made them stop? Well, Concord, right? The big theory. Of course, PlayStation and Sony never confirmed any of this, right? Not in their earnings calls, any business reports, nothing. Oh god. Oh, that's from Neo 2. This is Neo 3, by the way. The alpha demo. So yeah, none of this has been confirmed, anything like that. But we know why. Because Concord, they spent like half of $1 billion, like $0.5 billion on that damn game, and it got obliterated, you know? Like, absolutely obliterated. Got taken offline in like 2 weeks, you know? So, yeah, it has just been... They canceled the God of War game, the Spider-Man. Like, apparently all these live service games got canceled. So, I'm going somewhere with this. It gets better. Don't worry, it gets much better. And by better, I mean much worse. After all this is canceled. Out of nowhere. Literally like a month after all these games are canceled. Including Ben Studios' game, which Ben did confirm. They said, yeah, we're sorry, you know, our game, we hate to regret, you know, it's canceled. We worked so hard and it's, you know, not coming anymore. A month later. What do we get, guys? You know where I'm going. We get a trailer. Days Gone Remastered. Would you look at that? And, you know, then very shortly after that, the game came out. Just came out recently in May of 2025. And it's unfortunate because I don't think the game sold very well, and I have evidence that I'm going to tell you about to prove that. I don't think the game sold very well. I didn't think it would sell very well. Why? Because it didn't need a remaster. They upgraded it for the PS5. Go look at it. Oh, I did that too early. I just killed myself. Go look at the PlayStation 5 version. Days Gone looks incredible. Okay? And then they updated it, and it's like, it doesn't even look that much better. You can't really even tell. So I don't know, man. It's like the remaster, they didn't add much to it. You know, they're charging a lot of money for it. Everybody that wanted to play could just buy the PS4 version for cheap and then upgrade, you know? So it didn't make much sense that what they were doing, in my opinion. Like, it just kind of seemed like a cash grab, like a quick, lazy cash grab. Like, okay, we're canceling, like, PlayStation comes in, Sony comes into Ben Studio in Oregon, right? And they're like, hey, you know, all right, we're canceling your 6-year development cycle of the live service game. Yeah, we know we spent hundreds of millions on it. Down the drain, whatever. Oh boy. So why don't you guys, you know, we see the fans really like that Days Gone game. Why don't you just, you know, pump out a remaster real quick, you know, in a few months. Just do that real quick, you know? It's like, okay. So they do that. I don't think the game sells very well, you know? I don't hear anything about it. Like, it's just kind of quiet on the internet about it. Like, it's not bad. It wasn't bad. But I didn't hear anything amazing, right? So it's like, okay. Well. Then, here we go. A few weeks. Because it came out in, I think it came out in May, or was it April? So about a month later, let's say a month later, about a month later, a little over a month after the game comes out. You know, obviously the numbers weren't too good because what happens? What do I see online, guys, from Ben Studios themselves? We regret that we have to, you know, lay off some of our staff. You know, people that have been with us for many, many years, we are laying them off, you know? They are talented individuals, blah, blah, blah. You know, the whole corporate speak that they do, that companies do. And they just get rid of some of their best talent. So, layoffs. Days Gone. At Ben Studio. This just hit the news like yesterday. Today's what? The June 11th. Stellar Blade PC version came out. For all you that have PC, I'm jealous. I think it was the 10th or the 9th that they announced it, you know? Like, yep, we have to lay off a bunch of our staff, you know? And they probably worked on that Days Gone remake. And I just sit here and I'm like, this all could have been avoided, you know? This completely could have been avoided if instead of spending 6 years, guys, I only hope one day that we find out how much money was actually spent. You gotta do the math here, okay? Days Gone came out, I think it was April of 2019. Here we are, June of 2025. All of those years. Ben Studio released 0 games I don't think they released a single remaster, no sequels, no new IPs, no nothing. Nothing. They were just getting paid to make a game, I guess, whatever they were doing for 6 years. And then Sony finally figures out what us, the fans, what we've known the whole time. Live service is trash and garbage. You know, they figured it out with Concord, right? And what was it, 2023? I don't remember when that happened. Or was it 2024? I don't even know, but it was so bad, right? So they finally realized it. They're like, holy crap, let's pull the plug on everything. The God of War one, the Spider-Man one, Bend Studios, I think there was a Horizon one in the works, like all these different things. They just pulled the plug, canceled everything. Like, are you kidding? And now we're seeing the repercussions, you know? Bend. Not too early. Bend Studio. So, the one little bit of bright news, but I don't know if it's good news, they did announce, hey, we're working on a new game. I'm gonna die. We're working on a new game. It's like, okay, well, I wonder what the game's gonna be. I'm not gonna... You know? They're working on a new game, so... Is it Days Gone 2? I doubt it. And I'm gonna be real with you guys. You know, I've been one of the guys who wanted Days Gone 2, but... when you really look into the situation, the original like creator and writer for Days Gone 1, apparently they fired him from the company many years ago. And he was like the heart of that story with Deacon and Sarah. So let's say we do get Days Gone 2. I don't think it'll be anywhere near as good as the first one, because of the politics that will inevitably get injected into it. And without the core, it's kind of like with Destiny, right? And Halo. Like when you take out the core writer, Joseph Staten, you take out what made it special to begin with, the people that made it special to begin with, it's no longer the same company. You know what I mean? There's so many examples of that in the industry. So even if we do, by some miracle, get Days Gone 2, unless by another miracle, you know, we get the original creator to come back, which no company has ever done, because no one has enough humility to ever admit they're wrong when they do something like that. Rick and Morty and Pirates of the Caribbean are two huge examples there, right? When things are proven to be wrong, right? The companies should say, holy crap, we made a mistake, man. Like, come back. Or, you know, we miss you. We love you. Come work for us again. Make great art. No company's ever done that, you know? No company's ever apologized to the person whose reputation they ruined and said, you know, come on, let's do it again. Our bad. Our bad. We messed up. No. That'd be great if they did, but it's not looking like that's what's going to happen here. So, yeah, could we get a Days Gone 2? Yeah, we could. But it's not looking like it'll be any good if it comes. So, that's all I wanted to say, guys. Bend Studio, not looking good. They're working on a new game, great, but that's about as good as it gets. I'm sorry. I can't even focus. Playing terribly. So, alright. That's it. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below. I am the Lion of Truth.